Before UGM, I was dying inside and out.
Before UGM, I was homeless. I was in a severely abusive relationship. It almost took my life, and I didn't have my kids with me.
I was drinking, terrible anxiety, homeless, had burned all my bridges. When I came to UGM, they just were so good to me and gave me a chance to change my life.
I had completed a 21-day treatment program, and I just wasn't ready. That wasn't enough time to reintegrate back home and to work, taking care of family and a household.
I was in addiction for 20 years. I was homeless. I wasn't speaking to my family. They didn't want anything to do with me. I was in this dark, lonely, lost world. I thought that that's all I was gonna be, was an addict.
I had drank myself out of my apartment. I was living in a shed and lost, completely lost.
I got to the point where I was isolated in my apartment, and I had almost drank myself to death. Just in a really, really bad place.
I was in and out of jail. I didn't have my kids. I was just on a really bad spiral down.
Throughout my life, I had battles with substance abuse, and I just no matter what I did, I always went back to my addictions. And I'm not proud of it, but I was really filled with cynicism, sadness, anger. So yeah, it was tough.
I was a raging alcoholic since I was a teenager. I had been to prison twice by the time I was 24 and decided to come to UGM as my release plan.
I was heavily using. I hadn't talked to my family in a really long time. I lived in Spokane. I had an apartment here, and I was just into some really bad stuff.
I was in active addiction for 9 to 10 years. I gave my daughter up to my mother. I was in very active homelessness. I'm just glad I survived all that.
During program, I learned to love myself and that I mattered and that I had something to give and to offer. I just really loved UGM altogether. I think every bit of that program really helped save my life.
During program, I learned patience for myself and others, and more importantly, I learned love for myself and others.
I built relationships. I became a mom that I never knew possible. I experienced hope that I never knew. I just gained so much more than I ever thought possible. Yeah, it's just beautiful. Yeah.
I learned to deal with a lot of the traumas that I had growing up as a child and as an adult, and how to process grief. And, being in program just kind of renewed my faith in humanity, really.
I learned that it's okay to ask for help and that it's not a sign of weakness, but rather strength. And I knew I could trust others and make long-lasting friendships without being judged.
During program, I experienced so many incredible things. We had a couple of classes, Making Sense of Your Worth, Genesis, which is a huge model for UGM. Basically, you discover why you tick the way that you tick. They have something called the FASTER model, where it gauges where you're at on a daily basis. Am I forgetting priorities? Do I have anxiety? And somebody that's in recovery, it's an incredible tool to use.
I found out who I wanted to be. I wanted to know myself without addictions. And it's hard to do that when you're in the addiction. So this place gave me a really great opportunity to do that. And thank you, UGM.
It was the most impactful thing that I've done in life. I've been through lots of treatment centers, but this one actually did something. About third phase, it was like a curtain opened up and I was just a different person.
I was able to identify a lot of the past traumas in my life that had kept me stuck. I also had some things happen while I was in program, for instance, losing my grandmother, and I was able to learn how to walk those out in a healthy way. And I also developed a lot of long-lasting relationships with the staff and volunteers there.
I got to become part of a community, and I'm just so grateful for that opportunity to have the security and safety of being at the mission. There were so many key, critical times where people really spoke into my life. So getting to spend that time has just been invaluable, And I just thank God for this place and for the people that I've gotten to know.
You know, with it being such a long program is, I think, why I've done so well. You don't have to work for a year. You literally just get to focus on yourself, and that's really not real life. Like, that's not realistic to the real world, but UGM makes it happen, where we're getting therapy 24/7 for a really long time, and God's just front center, and it works.
I learned how to love myself again, learned that others can love me back. I was able to feel like I can breathe again. I can feel like I can actually live again. And I'm able to just see the world through a completely different lens.
Today, I've got a great job at Oil Analysis Lab. I got that through UGM, and I'm living in the transitional housing, and it's just amazing.
I've gained a lot more confidence and learned that I have self-worth and I don't need to be defined by my addiction. That's what's happened in the past is basically the past.
I went to school and I graduated in April for medical assisting, so now I am a certified medical assistant. I have my own apartment in Post Falls. My marriage is back on track. I have friends. I love life. Life to me is so precious, and I just love doing things and being part of a community that is safe for me.
Life couldn't be better. My friends and family have come alongside of me. I have a solid foundation with church and with recovery meetings. I actually just got a job with Kootenai Hospital. I am also going to school for a mental health certification. All is well.
I am actually a productive member of society. I'm working at the Way Out Center in the capacity like we have here. I get to work with other people that are in recovery, and it's an absolute blessing. I love it.
Today I work at UGM Thrift Store and I go to SFCC for addiction studies. I am going for my SUDP, which is to be a counselor.
Today I live in supportive housing at CWC in their apartments. I also volunteer at CWC 3 days a week. There's one day that I go and teach an addictions class with the Phase 2 ladies. I am very blessed to have the opportunity to be in leadership at our Union Gospel Mission thrift store in Hayden, and I just enjoy it so much. I've never been quite in a work environment just so loving, encouraging, and yes, we are hiring.
I'm a mother, a daughter. I have an amazing job getting to fix airplanes, something I never thought possible. And I'm happy.
I am a full-time mom. We live independently in our own apartment, the first apartment I've ever owned in my life. We love our new place. It's amazing. It's a huge blessing.
I'm a med tech. I work in a memory care unit. I'm just in a different place. I love taking care of people. I just started a new business, my own cleaning business. Life's really good. I have a really good relationship with my family. I am an auntie, and I love it.
Right now I'm taking classes at SCC, and I work at the SCC library. July 4th would be my anniversary for 3 years of being sober. I love the fact that it's that day because I not just celebrating Independence Day, but just my independence of separating myself from a very deadly situation and somewhere I don't want to be anymore.
Today I'm working full-time. I'm living at UGM housing. So it's just an exciting time in my life for me. One of the biggest blessings for me throughout program and now is my home church. So having a family there, having people that I can always talk to, people that I can connect with, it feels good to be alive again.
To me, God is why I'm here. I was in such a dark spot, and when you're using, you don't see light. All you see is darkness, and addiction's such a selfish thing. But even if I didn't think he was there, he was, and he protected me, and he has a purpose for me.
To me, God is everything. He brought me here. He put me through a lot of stuff, but it was for a reason, and now I understand why, and I love him even more.
To me, God is joy. God is gracious. God is everything. Without him, I wouldn't have had the strength to be sober and to continue sobriety and to find strength to keep pushing and to strive for a future and to have goals.
I know that he offers me forgiveness no matter what I do, and I can always count on him. God is just helping me through my recovery, and that's made the difference from in the past.
To me, God is most definitely my Savior. Everything that has happened to me in the past 2 years since I've stepped out of the way, God has directly affected everything in my life in a very positive manner, including my new job.
God is a part of my life now. Before UGM, I didn't believe in God, and without God, I don't know how I would go through life.
To me, God is the artist and I am his painting, and just throughout my life now, I just see all these ways that he has just painted this beautiful portrait, both out of the good and the bad. I'm just really excited to see where he takes me. He's definitely with me in all things that I do. He gives me the strength when I'm weak.
God is everything. Without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have my kids. I wouldn't have the hope that I have in my life. I wouldn't have made it as far as I did. I owe everything to him.
To me, God is everything. I spent, 40 odd years pretty much agnostic, just trying to do my own thing. And believe it or not, that does not work. I feel like I found God at UGM, and I found God from community.
I'm just really thankful for all the volunteers and staff at UGM, and definitely the donors.
For walking alongside of me and keeping me going when there were some days where I didn't think I could keep going.
Without you, this program is not possible at all. Our recovery is fueled by your generosity, and we greatly appreciate you.
It's just incredible and amazing how many people donate to UGM to help us girls, us women that have just always been so broken and have come from different places, and we're just showered with love.
It's really made a huge impact on me and my kids' life. I would not be the person I am today without them.
I feel like without you, I don't know where most of us would be at, but I know for myself, UGM has saved my life.
I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking your time, your talents, and your treasure, and just using them to help us and help God's children.
You've changed all of our lives, and you're irreplaceable. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to change my life.
Thank you so much for the support, the encouragement. It's just been a life-changing experience for me, and I cannot put into words how grateful I am.
I just want to say thank you to everyone at UGM, staff, volunteers, the girls that I've lived with. You helped save my life. And without you, this wouldn't have been possible. And thank you to the donors, because I couldn't afford this on my own. And just for you to help me live again and to find life again, I will be forever, ever grateful.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to change mine and my kids' lives. You don't know what your donations did for our lives. I can't thank you enough. Thank you.